Good evening, everybody. Onim sekwesiada do na wo te helebanja na jisa Nanahemaa mafameja. As usual, and then me de wo be ka on my Ghana mona ya compensem some is your. Now before we do that, we will spend some time at UK and Europe in general. Because a year weekend delaying on from the fancies Thursday, Friday, about weekend and from the abo abrochi. Ain't yet the munsam ever. Adiakos what Ghana because it's winning and so country. If you just tune it, just remind you this was a radio #1 radio station in London. Median and Nanahemaa. Yana made it to make dear who cheer me and never your family on mobile. As usual, a year of Babru, your Bahu for Mr. Quatsi was on electricity for. I want the Kakabia because of our rather one eyes in gone. Emma pause a yoko kujesi bonzo onunsu di got free on kakra because onunsu was say would rest you are the electricity unza obane we feye papa Eye me ame boss and eko kujesi bonzo kwaku better nka Sami amma baby I will be a mechia bebre Sanso na eye Miss Time and Ashley this year onunsu oshikrubi mu ashini mu I was your pay information out there but to make sure say next week who you were feeding in Koha baby because of the same way authentic organic one and all the baby. Banjo. I am Mr. Nuno baby. I will be a Mitchell Papa and their number as usual the way my 0208 144 8773 0208 144 8773 obey to me as I share your live and YouTube and that's Facebook and Facebook page and making sure so obey joining in and now also to mediate or the one no abem Apollo, Walabolo, Jesus. Now, me do become my Ghana, Monae, and Sema Akoso of city spirits for unemployment to Ghana a risk of violent extremism. Yes, a Juma any Ghana, no, and Magana, Marian Shea. Edin Sembebri and a Bebagana. I mean, what's so aquature or see no increment in transport fares, GP out to you for Nadine Semi about it. Now, when GP out to you for send there are some private companies here. Omudi answer na GPLT for December betuja no musisiano a year lorry car no so fua a 30%. Na 30% no cry reckon is a radio teacher for mathematicians munchakini in anam for my if you no mom in the Bubako Flagster house, someone winning a right former president a year at a mills or this is a new one a year a one no. See, I'm saying about power canning chairgo. But one and another one said, and I what done the bank comes so account. And I in a night or call a quan not see another quail grass and a honsense and a dear cran and ma. Yen papa or twan and an one seed. San semi obisi a asem sebe. And see this week, and one some up just a kukuru. And see, or say, four majority MPs file motion to prop into at a mill's death. Yes, and why no come at a mill's? And yeah, the cool. A on one in Caribbean, and that's a way, Jenny Pebin Sashas, and they better most connect with some Yanabra. Before one make NIA or say operates more registration centers for Ghana card next week. A year or 2 years, I didn't know exercise. Now, when I'm winning at the show boy at the pre-mine, or say Ghana has submitted commitment towards the African Disability Protocol. Someone when Myanmar, we can submit them CCR a year summits, a year papa, a year to show boy no account where you co-host on Norwegian president, Norwegian penny for the be. This is no Ghana, the commitment. Now, when young Ghana said, you know, my phone, yeah, sure, man, and that and it moons and if you Hansus was someone when him says, yeah, there's a wound him now, Casanova can say, yeah, Dr. Biaba or you posting, Dr. Ozai posting, yes, your friend IGP, Dr. Dampari, yes, so by you watch it, MPP for. Penny Casia Miensa. Or the one what you are first man I am Pia and Johnson Dampari by this is there's a ocean one year. So one penny says a count and an account is wrong. It when himself on entering your men church a lot and go far and because a boppet here or 20 year back. If you wire a year 11 and semi Musa 11 cry once a media go jabu. If you say a basso, if you must say so, before I say will give an alternative if a 11 fails. Now, Casa, not as I don't know the bar, no need you, man. What if I know what me? Pama Melan, Fremen, I'm in Tonka. Yeah, one name says here the COVID, so when you mark COVID, the sense, semi or say government accumulate significant arrears prior to COVID-19, a World Bank and the report here. Abba. I come in your Purugu and neighbor don't much cut near the museum and Abraham. Now, me free wa, and the work will be swallow, and yes, Sabri. Say, be any be a Tuchan night, or say, Neelas cop buried at the football pit. Hey! And some were Ghana. Ghana to me could see a flu our park show, the flu near Tuchan and now you call shame when crazy from the AC and Grana is in the tea at the hall. That's a from here to shine into so bushy in the Biara, Coswala. You need you some baby. No more name CCR, so when you is which Mamu has saying a Europe from a bonny beer by right from the beginning. I made it a little bit clear. See the best at your home. Now Ghana met your CCR almost a Marco strike. No more call strike, no. Someone a chance and from airborne plane to me to plane into me to me land into me land. And CCIS airline flying into Ghana do so at your own risk. Air forecasting director didn't see me about 80 winnings and send me bring your demons some ebebro. But with how much I do, no. Emma beg your friend and many over here, you are cooling down hot some yama and a wash channels. I didn't talk channel or the rest of you, honey. Yeah, Bemo, I chat your money and I say, yeah, the agrono ashes. Ain't see where the Meko or buy so Oba. Good evening. Good evening. And to say, and then when a different crowd, lipo no is a different color crowd now, one mind because like, yes. It's like what? It's like yours. Just like mine. Different from what we know. And as Miss My different and woman may take binti. Yes, so I young flip there because young flip house because no the be on my life, if you have a rising. Now how's your week been? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, can't complain. It's just very windy, but anyway, we are about to talk about it. Yes, we are. We're going to have time as well, so it keeps us with the parents. Half time, the way on half time anyway. So yeah. Mommy, and see, Sammy, now it's the same. Yeah, madam. And how has your week been? It's been fantastic. I've been having a restful week, so. It's been very good. From your face. Yes, I'm a cheerful man. Very cheerful. Yeah, very excited about. A cheerful man. I am very indeed. Looking forward for the beginning of the harsh week on Monday. And how's your week been?
Oh, I thought I said it's been fine.
Fantastic.
Oh, right. Rest. A lot of rest. Sleeping. Enjoy my morning coffees and
yeah. Have you been making a special one for yourself? Or
yeah. Cappuccino. Yeah. So it's
at
been
someone's
good.
house or your house? In your house?
Well, I mean, I can do it nowadays.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I've learned some new skills.
All right.
Okay. 7 days has been very good for me.
7 days has been very good.
7 days has been really good. Exciting times. I've learned new skills.
Can I share my small
go on.
My bad news for this week?
Your bad news,
Yeah. I handled this assignment, right?
Yeah.
Then my tutor calls me up. I want your listeners to know their view. My tutor calls me up and says, I've got a meeting with you.
If it's advert, also would you?
No. I just want their view on this. My tutor calls me up and says, well, can we have a meeting? Anyway, so I said, okay, I set it up anyway. So we have the meeting Wednesday.
Yeah.
She says to me, by the way, I made a mistake. The assignment time or actually no 100 minutes. You shouldn't have done that assignment. It's not a module that you've already done. It's either you do this employment law or this module.
Yeah.
You've already done employment law, so I should not have said you should do this module. So it's a mistake. So we don't add additional 3 months into your course and then from that to 9 months. And then we are giving you free to attend classes for this module. So we've made a mistake. I'm really sorry. What would you say?
In the microphone because someone can move.
Yeah. It's about trying every year. The Africans I didn't try. It's the wrong module to write.
Yeah.
Therefore, I've lost.
So how long have you spent?
3 months on this stage.
The amount of 3 months.
Well, you can look at it from both ways, isn't it? First, you've acquired some knowledge which is not necessary.
You might probably need it to. You can't. I like the way you put it, not necessary, but not necessarily unnecessary.
Well,
because
yeah.
Sometimes all
so nothing happened on Valentine then?
Nothing happened.
Oh my God, no, you can't take this then. No. They have to compensate you. And compensate your husband. It's too much.
You know how it takes to do right.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
But probably there's nothing you can do. Because that module, if it's not, it's not. There's absolutely. So you just have to take her as it comes. Possibly they might be very relaxed in your banking, and then that one that you're doing now. And they've offered you free tuition.
I just don't even know how to tell you guys. So how you call me? It's
just an extension of another 3 months is when the problem.
And then when you this is the second extension of when so do you know so your middle name? Anita extension. How did they to us what was? Already Yemfa and Common and not and like I said at our introduction, one of the biggest issue, and I said one of the big topic this week, UK and part of Europe, is a year storm Unity, and I think that how devastating it has been. UK hub, and I happened to speak to somebody in Germany and part of America as well, and it seems to be having very strong winds blowing in Europe and kind of in the West, and all this brings to global warming we're talking about. Yes.
Why is it allegedly?
Is that fully?
Yeah, there is global warming.
It could be.
No, there is global warming.
Yeah, we have a global.
Yeah, it is proven.
It's proven.
Yes. I mean, why you don't listen to the scientists?
No.
Yes, it is proven.
18. Before, what I wanted to find out, it was topic your grounds argument Emira, what was announced over the weekend? Can you tell me your experience? My fans started so where were you? And I don't know, have you seen some of the videos? Did you experience any of it? And what was your initial reaction?
It has been really. I stepped out on Friday morning afternoon, and the pain and everything was actually there. Well, we have acquired people's veins.
Oh well, that's a
front.
positive news.
And they're rubbish.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
it's my sort of my driving. So it's so much mess outside. I think every time we are because my property is quite old house anyway. So anytime there's a lot of wind like this, I worry. I just check my roof, thinking, oh God, my roof. Yeah, I don't feel the movement. Touch wood so far, and I haven't seen anything as yet. But I've actually got friends that have we took pictures on Facebook. The roof.
Jack, what's up, Ray?
Place, you know, the thing that's
Towels.
The
Yeah.
thank you. The towels is just basically a dream, so she's not looking for roof.
Oh dear.
It's just those kind of things that we are experiencing. And I think it was impossible. I wanted to take my son out, but it was impossible to do much, because the wind was too much. Yesterday I actually went out, and as I was in town, I could see some places in really good before,
Oh, wow.
So I can imagine people that live in the more rural, like outside London, they experience how it's just London, and you can imagine how devastating this is anyway. It's really, I don't know if we've actually, I don't remember if we've had something so, it's
No,
very
no.
bad.
No, yeah,
It's the
for a
first
decade.
in London.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a decade, centuries, so they say something like that.
It was like trees.
In London, I mean, not the not for.
It is a trees we go to it's like people, so the wind was really quite scary. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things in the news and what I'm imagining there's a lot in the news about people that have actually probably lost their lives.
I think last time I checked, I think 3 people. I don't know whether it's gone up or
So
not.
I can imagine what's going on. But I think this wind was really, it was really, as to be honest with you, we all know the global warming situation anyway. I think
Which you don't believe in.
No, it's not that I don't believe in it anyway. I honestly believe in it, but I'm just saying it's an impossible practice and it has nothing to do with
Most people that they are, it's very unscientific. So
But the question I'll ask is, as we look at the 12th calendar month, and we are in the month of February, and in February, at least, maybe you've experienced February in this country, at least the minimum of 10 years, and that's a minimum. And have we ever, even in a decade in your life, have you experienced this? And that is what we need to look at it from that perspective.
I think we've come to realize that every year we see something that has not happened for a century or whatever. Because the global warming, don't get me wrong, Sammy, I believe that global warming is playing a big part in the situation in Europa. I just think that as time goes on, and funny enough, I had somebody with me from Ghana, and the question to me was like, hey, rainy season, yeah, and I'm sure, it can be like this throughout the whole year. It could be summer and it could be rainy. So it's not, we don't have something like rainy season, but it happens continuously. So it's getting worse and worse every time. I think every year there's something I happened before happens. And it's really it gets scary because you don't know what another, we've had tsunami, we've had bad sort of, other natural causes that has happened anyway through probably our own most of them is to blame. We, the people that we are to be blamed for our lifestyle now, it's caused it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's getting worse and worse anyway. I think this is the worst one. This is the worst one I've ever experienced anyway in terms of the devastation that is caused to other people. But when it's happening, I'm more or less walking around checking my building, my roof. So yes, it is devastating anyway. So my heart goes to people that have actually gone through it, are going through difficult times, probably flooding or something, or they've lost their loved ones anyway. It's just a difficult time. We've already struggling with what we've gone through with COVID and everything that goes with it, and to have that on top of it, it's just not. It's
a difficult situation.
Yeah, it's a difficult time for all of us.
Mami, so I'm sure, I don't know whether you've seen some of the videos.
I witnessed it. So yeah,
can you tell us your experience? Like, I don't know whether you've seen that video where, like, for instance, O2, for instance, Nanahemaa, the roof is gone.
Not all of it. Some
part of it's gone.
Yeah.
And you see a whole church be anyway it too, but there's just a tiny bit. It's gone, and a whole tree no say it's been uprooted and landed on a car that some make some serious 2020 make and you see the hazard on it, and thankfully I think the driver wasn't in, so which was good. And the one I also saw somebody in the car filming it, and it happened right in, and you could hear the one saying, I can't believe I caught this on camera. I caught this on. Tell us your experience. And
well, I mean, I don't know whether I should say fortunate or unfortunate. I happened to have promised a friend that I was going to come and see him over the same day that this we were advised not to go out. Now, to be quite honest with you, when I step out, I totally almost forgot that. I mean, when I say I forgot is an understatement. I knew about because I saw it in the news about the suggestion that if you don't have anything that urgent, it's better for you to stay home. But I knew I wouldn't be able to get time again to see this friend, because this will be the only day that I have that I can see him. So I step out to decide, so, okay, let me still go ahead. And when I came out of the house, and the wind up, well, no, it hasn't started raining by then, but it's the beginning of when the whole thing started. So it was very windy. I don't think it was up to the 100 meters per hour around that time. I think it's somewhere around maybe 40, because it was very windy. And my car was all messed up in a lot of leaves, debris, all over the car. So this is me. I still went ahead and took the car, and then started driving. And then I began realizing how actually, the dangerous it was. I was actually almost turning back, because at a point in time, but there were a lot of cars, in town. At a point in time, we got stuck in traffic, and it was a traffic which was caused by some debris fell on the road, and they have to try and move it. So we stuck in traffic for about, I think, 20 minutes, and you could see the car basically, shaking on the side. But my car is very much sad, it's like grounded. So other smaller cars, you can see, well, it was that scary. Yeah, but yeah, then we stayed in, and but whilst you're driving towards town, you can see the devastation around where all the road was messy. We got all the tree, not the leaves actually, not the branches in itself. Some branches are falling off, but not necessarily on the road. But it was very scary, because if you look at the
went into the sky.
yeah, I didn't see that, but at the same time, it was fascinating to experience something like that in. I mean, you do watch movies and hear the
so you thought it was
tornadoes.
part of a movie.
You do watch the movies and know the tornadoes, and now I literally could see people still walking in the street. And I mean, I can't stand. I would have stood up to demonstrate how they were walking in such a way. Can I do that? And people were basically slanting like that, and because the wind is blowing you away, so you have to try to push yourself through. And most people that I met while I was driving, that is how they were walking, and that was how bad it was. And at a point in time, there was this old woman that I don't know where she was going, and she was holding this trolley. She's really, she looked very frail. Well, I think most likely she's probably going to the supermarket, and she was almost going to be blown into the road. Lucky for her, there was these two guys that were also, so they did see that, and they grabbed her, and all the three of them were almost got onto the road. So slowly they went through the crossing, and the lady, for some reason it got some part where it was much more secured, and then she got away. But I saw all this because I was stuck in traffic right then. So it was actually quite dangerous, seeing all that. But it was a nice experience in a way.
You thought you were
in a very weird way. It was a nice experience because I haven't experienced anything like this before. The tornadoes when you see on TVs and people, there are tornado chasers that they actually want to go and see how the tornado, basically happened. So for me, this is my tornado viewing. It was fascinating in a way, very dangerous though, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a very, very kind of something.
Oh, you had yours too.
Yeah, I had something very interesting because as you all know, it was half term, and I had to take the kids to the hairdressers to get their hair done. And whilst you were there, and we booked an appointment, and just to put it out there, the hairdressers is literally like 3 minutes walk from the house, so it's still within our vicinity. And whilst we were there, all I could hear was I saw some people's bins being flying on the road, and I was like, "Oh, is Eunice here?" And the lady went looking through the window. Where is Eunice? And I was like, "That is Storm Eunice." Basically, that's what they've been talking about. But what makes it interesting, I had a lot of calls, people canceling the appointment because they couldn't physically make it. One lady, for some reason, made it, and this is how she came in. She had a bag with a big bits in them and her handbag, and both bags. Her handbag was on her left shoulder, and the big bag was in the. She said but what was interesting? What was interesting was both bags were kind of filled with stones because she said the wind was blowing her away that she had to put stones in both bags just to give her a bit of weight. Yeah, just to give her a bit, but it's quite sensible. No, but they were in the bag, so it gives her a bit of kind of.
Yeah, I get it.
Kind of ground and not fall. So she when she came, her bag was kind of. I have no idea. They have stones in.
But it's interesting. I mean, to be quite honest with you, for me, it was a very good experience.
Yeah, so
I mean, saying that people died. So,
but what is upon all this, despite the fascination, your movie part of Ben and Anita worrying about her roof and building. What is this telling us? Because sometimes when you cool Ghana as well, the kind of rainfall they are having is also kind of not the normal rainfall. It's this time. I know we have heavy rains, but now it's getting heavier and heavier. And so, what is this telling us as people?
It's the lot of public campaign. I think if we remember last year, the G12 summit, a lot of I think it's the first time I probably paid more attention to it. That we saw more people from different parts of the country, especially youth, just speaking from their country, what the experience that they have been with, with global warming is affecting, how it's affecting their countries and the people or the community they live in. I think that what tells us is that we probably all kind of have a big part to play in it. We all want the fastest and the best things in the world, but it comes with
consequences.
Yeah. There's nothing that's anticipated. It's always consequences for our actions. That reason anyway. And I think we all have to learn to probably. I don't know how it's difficult. I think at the moment we all kind of struggling. I think I would say we in Africa. I think when I'm home in Ghana, and I see how my mom minimize, electricity. Maybe I could use vacuum and whatever is, maybe it's too complex flashing. They are very careful how they do their best to minimize
the wastage.
Footprints or stuff like that.
But not consciously, because I think it's more to do with their cost.
Yeah, it's a cost for them. It's a cost for them, but then in doing so, no, obviously
they're looking after the planet.
And we here as well. How many times we probably put the tissue with we flash it, when you flash it, everything you flash. But yet what we do, especially in the West, affect them more than probably, or it's affecting them more. Because they if you listen to a lot of things that we hear every year, it's really talk Ghana a lot. Maybe we're Ghana to talk, we need to, because I'm thinking that it brings a bit of coolness in the weather. But for people that with our economy, with how we actually manage Ghana anyway, in the rubber and other things, it causes a lot of problems for some people. They don't even have anyone to sleep because they're blocked everywhere, people's houses is flooded and stuff like that. I think so we all have some part to play in this anyway, so we all have to do our best to try and minimize our footprints, because there's a lot going on. We actually waste a lot, and I am glad, especially the youth that are kind of standing up, like this is a better, that girl be now here,
Yeah.
but she's been obviously talking about it, and we and companies also are trying their best to work. I think we want them to do more. Everything and everything that goes with it. We all have some part to play in it. Over drive, for train. And then I'll say to you because you like to know that public transportation. So if it's over the Uber driver, probably, and if it's possible to take, if you can take public transport and do that instead of taking your own car.
Thank you.
Triana is shaking her head.
Yes. I'm giving it.
I do car share.
How many times?
I do car share sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're going somewhere that's fine, you minimize your
my carbon.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, yeah. This your carbon footprint and minimize it. Ain't what mom a strong one is a one in one into because I hate, to be quite honest, not that I hate it. I don't really like going on the public transport, but things from this weekend I've learned my lessons and metro I said me to public transport when I need to go. Let's move on to Ghana. Or see Niles buried on football pitch in Swala. Hey, Ghana for this year, the Funu only 9 points. Just say, if you're in 9 every hall, and I just say, yeah, without a 9. Some residents of Swala in the Swala Tuna Koba district of the Savannah region on Saturday, February 19, 2022, discovered a nearest body of a man buried in a football pit. The corpse, which is yet to be identified, was found by local authorities. It was buried with the head exposed near the Roman Catholic cluster of schools. This comes after 2 mysterious deaths were recorded in the Bole district in the Savannah region earlier in the month. The Swala Kolba District Police Command has confirmed the incident. The District Police Commander DSP Paul Lambert said his outfit has taken custody of the corpse and would ensure its burial. He, however, appealed to residents to volunteer information to the police to enable them to bring the perpetrators to book. Ain't it such story we my main fan started was Samia Maso 6 years ago. First banner is the attitude corona. 6 years the year caught Swala. Baby, I will compare the description now. That means a school because it's a cluster of school. Now, what's a story? What does it tell you as a Ghanaian citizen? Say, first bananka will be a funu crumple the entire. Yes, see if you know the phone in it.
And I don't honestly, I don't know. I mean, this is something which is developing. So I hope the police is just going to, get more information about it. Because I don't know whether it's a murder case or it's just, I mean, obviously from.
It has to be one or the other because I don't think, not one or the other, but it can be a proper burial. So.
Yes, but I don't know. The point I'm making is I don't know. The story doesn't really tell us much about whether someone has been killed and been buried wrongly or someone died. And but of course, I mean, since the police is aware of it, my suspicion is that they're just going to investigate and come up with what it is. I mean, it probably might be a hard shot for the police. Is evidence available? Who is that person? Do we have DNA to suggest that who the person is? The family members are going to come forward for. So honestly, Nana, I really don't know much on this specific one. So I'm just hoping that the police will find a bit more information on this and hopefully that might bring whoever, if it is Madam Juan, whoever the perpetrators, I'm hoping so. Fingers crossed.
Obaya, just quickly, because this story is betting I know say kunkum this year cost Ghana, but usually no betting on ABI to swing pano the to baby. But for them to Barry and I unity PA. What's his story? What's your initial reaction about it?
I think we love one. I wouldn't think that it could be a year where this is how it would be done. You put them, your loved ones in a place that is as a sign of respect, you put them in the right places. So for me, if you ask me, it tells me, say like this is probably on love, something on love has happened here. And it's a sad situation because we are a young, we are a younger person. You know, or could be about they don't know where this is happening, where the person is. We are seeing a lot of these cases, in Ghana, and I think it's a worry. I think it's like the government has to step up a lot more.
The police.
Oh yes, so the government is now more who they, more equipment to do those things. So the police, yes, the police have to do the job, but it's all kind of going to the top to get it done right. I think it's like we need to investigate into or get more sort of equipment to actually look into more cases like this because we are really really behind in terms of crimes that happen in Ghana anywhere, which is I think at times you and I know that we can, DNA is just right there. But we are not observing and we are not doing the right things by them.
I don't think we even have a DNA database where we try to identify people. I mean, the biometric will help, but the people's fingerprint is not being captured in the national identification. So that would be if the person is in the data system in Kwanzaa, then they should be able to pick something out.
Ghana is a terrible country, so like one message to the police very soon and you might not get with the
fingerprints is quite long, I think. Yeah. I mean,
I think we need to look into this a bit more and then the police have to do the
it depends on when the person died, to be honest, and whether there is that point. I mean, that's the thing. The thing is that we don't know if it's murder, or
but we need to step
burial
up on
gone
our
wrong.
technology in terms of how we are investigating. There's so many of these cases happening, and to be honest with you, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not confident with the government. I'm not confident with the police system how they work on these issues as we go along. It's just getting ridiculous now.
Yo, actually, for our time check at the moment is 53 past 5. Sabre yenya Bismarck nem senior or war Ghana Angel FM no buto ene juma. Bismarck, Otemenka. Hello Bismarck. Hello Bismarck, Otemenka. Hello. Bismarck, Otemenka. Bismarck, hello, Bismarck. Okay, Bismarck, sign up a beam. Whilst I yet time, Bismarck, no, produce a batch of it to me a lower, we know I'm a chair honor. Another trending story this week here about so yeah, in one of the stories, upper up this week. Hold on, me Menya Bismarck this time. Mammy has the Menya Bismarck mefiti so. Hello Bismarck, Kotimenka.
Hello, Naima Badajaminka.
Mitowonka, Manenko.
Nana, Michia Obibia, Utio, and then you UK. And I said, we are saying, after Nana, Mitmaka said, and then Sunday here. Really, because house I don't know, I'm a Siano. And we are saying, on the more serious note, me to us, you say, now can my free a chair column, and I, Ghana Kada, we say, I need to be or I need to son. With mother said, before I said a free chair column, Kumasis or Stedoma, Obivia, everything, but last week, we did a today. Now, it could be a room. With mother said, if you don't about something, that officer will be here, or you might it's a little bit and our own empty as I can or Dana card. Now, when you say Ghana card in your Naja, over the SIM card restriction and the cost of Ghana High, and on our obituary a year. And also known as by next month, there's a deadline, Ministry of Communication at the Bible Teno. There's a Arabs one is anti Oko and life officer, never be an about Dopema, or more say, or more Sabitin account, or more Ghana card. Now, I'm a good order, and I say, we need Ghana fully be a team common, never catching me. I was some Emma, oh, Mangana. If you say, Yakase, pardon, oh, yeah, it be a day in an only be a 500. No, any time of Mutu, Ghana card, no, why a bear 100, and a 200, no more tie, no more Casamonco, a Chanamapa. No, as you know, no, my pin tobacco, I'm a little, or a guru boy, and as a guru woman. Or it will be a 10 city, 5 city, 10 city, 5 city, not one fat back door. There's a whole red down inside. I call you so dear. Do we not look at Ghana card? Now, about a family dear. We are quite good. There's a new sumo. That's all coffee. There's a willy second tea. That's all coffee. Nanahemaa, okay, the Padoma, and press electricity. So we have become Ghana card. Baby. So I also Ghana. Now, meaning is always someone I'm a main trust.
Yeah, what's your mommy? Ghana card, me full say a free and you're free, and as I charge it.
Ghana card no free. Okoya interest kabia. Na okoswa. I was say nema city to the go can say requirement no. Na o de ko. Na o ma hwe, na o ma ayama free. Na baby. Now when I say nipa be we say nipa be pay for Ghana card ntino. Na say more number na say dey no. Is because we are omonye be 100 no. No my half, no much half. Omonye say half na ka no. Omonye the branch. Na say omonye my ada ya ma for
Yo. Twaso my best ma koti anka.
Nana me twaso no when you say NTBA na MPP4 start say omo forms na omo delegate district delegate forms na about Montano ebia o bantima ya ka say omo forms aba mo nkope bi na yento mo so aba no Nanahemaa ekopi mu ewo mampo de aya ababo mabo ewo ho titiri ni forms a omo kokopere no ntokwa ewo ho ma obese ekokodu MP4 part of his mampo aya ntokwa ko and also quite so now picture. You say video that platform so now. And yeah, as I'm good to let's say I am talk now Okofimu Atuma Kwamadia and I also the need to about and the home. Literally say almost to say if you to Atuma Kwamadia and 24 I am maybe say me in Confibidi free now only the one some call for a party members you know our more other community you know at said there be the Sunday here almost so one set forms in the police station executives no motor sabano the be mu dey fimu dia and the duabo nti ho dey Nanahemaa e ho na koye duabo ana ekoso ewo honum na media mikasa na abeba wiye no we say nche Ghana hanuma yekoso e petrol we say Ghana na petrol mu dia na say o say to be nti Ghana for esu say omonje mampanyini say dey to aba ma wunie na driver for omutu asen Ghana nyina no akwa anopio ko say free extra ekode dey omotum 30% na 30% no me say feature ko na Nanahemaa e bento kwa ka mu
na nyabosio Bismarck nyabosio gina ho kakra ma me sa 30% no and cry yeti and say a year GPRT for about aka say some private car dealers be now more edit 30% in the buy name omu nkoma omu ni Ministry of Transport here in Nyamba app and see omu enye 30% need to move. So is it going to still happen say 30% now omu be kwaswaje sa etu 30% na
Nanahemaa sasam buy but when say Ghana Hanuma GPRT the mother for a transporter Ghana high na only say omumu no ana matititi nko bibi your photo or drivers one union. They say, okay, Mako 28. And we United States now said you can go to Ghana for a free annual and a ticket for so about one thing. Say, most 30%, you know, if you say, petrol, no, to total free station now. 7 cities, 69 pesos. The new also at 8 cities, 69 pesos. The also at 6 cities, 89 pesos. But when said that end Calipapa, the video so almost I don't know to almost almost open for the car. I didn't feel one more. I need to meet my tomb. But the total free station there or Matum, self free station there or Matum. When you say go and remind the answer a mind there into one shada to papa into 6 cities 79 pesos into you say a free tier on the there they are so the departing for almost I agree on 30% no say emrasa into no or say feature on the the first nankasa no e baba bonte say the feature kono and tokwa shada emma and tokwa insi okay, we say if last week you 30% in SRC, but I say it's a different for the matter of the transport to know. Over the car, there's a woman to India. There's a woman after the say, oh, I got to 30%, and also Navi, near my and also now, we didn't because I when we say, if for you take for strike. Say try the court yes say omunko try the affiliation labor union and contingency na agree na the booking vice president of UTAC or University the need to come annuity no ka just and the court can the neso Labor Commission for no contrast any about if you said, a any minister or the piano, or when the better Labor Commission pan or when the better said, yeah, and I'm so every legal as a chef for myself, almost already so follow, and I said, I'm not sure any day. Suppose cash in crown or moon TV or moon of your dear. Then I'm not saying some Ghana has it.
Yo, Bismarck, radio, ye better was na won chemwa, or de am I able to have a bibia for Biaba?
Mammy, for Richard Kakra. And lawyer, obey Asamoah, every year is some job for Kumasi, and I want to say that he is a similar Nana. And some of the idea. Young as I tell Ghana, we will say questions given to me. I said, you know, and go for into. I said, other parts from into our men. Women is so much into media. Or Magasin will come for Swa. We send his room with my year. I'm a year, or meeting a passage. There is a other and Mac, Ghana has it.
Omo patches on bed bulldozer or hours at the ISS idea. Ghana can be mammy cabin air consultancy, and ya dear, we bet to be Ghana focus on winning too much. And ya dear, bet me, I say, a band in ratchet changing, and I bet Ghana for home.
I don't know, there was a Ghana for you, many air. Say, your Casam Rana, data for you, Nasa Kakatasu so after recent needs to be at the judgment and the Bissino Nasa next 4 years, I don't know the Brazil Camu and Messadia.
Yo, Bismarck, wait here, ye better was a pa war in Chemwa, and what your mind I will come for ye, Eddie Amaya, dear Costo, our Ghana, Putua Hoa, and I say before Frobiaba, not just say what fray, now what the Amaya. Idiot, a better was to be brave. Bismarck and a wait for Yini Abre, CCC, the MPP office there. A honor I able to talk up as you forms or no. Yes, we never be crampo the wafa and go for iron. This is la. Oh, now I'm sending a story or the way, that was the next story we're going to pick up. Or say, Oforiata gives alternative if e-levy fails. Or say the finance minister, Ken Oforiata, is still surprised at the dissenting voices in the relation to the proposed e-levy in 2022 budget statement. He, however, expressed optimism that the policy will be approved, but in events it does not go through, he said the government will turn to the petroleum sector for revenue. Asking what the alternative is in the event of the e-levy fail, while speaking to the journalist at the function in Accra on Friday, February 18, he said there are always many alternatives, but really you are looking at the future and you are looking at ways we can solve the issue of the increased revenue and everybody participated. The challenge is, for example, assuming you earn a million cities a year, and you transfer you transfer all of it through mobile. What I'm asking of you is 15,000, and that's what you have been fighting against. Or if you are a student and assuming you earn 100,000 studies, which is unlikely, that means what? 1,500 cities. So you then begin to ask the question, what is it that we are fighting against? And if I have also said the first 100 cities will not be part of it, which means 3,000 monthly income. The alternatives are many. You can go into petroleum, but is that really what you want? The mood of the country is different from the arithmetics in the parliament, and that is why I have gone around. Mr. Oforiata has earlier ruled out returning to the International Monetary Fund for support in order to deal with the challenges that a local economy is going through at the moment. Ghana na se usika no kakra bi no so woju for yata se usika no kakra bi e na woji nti se you twa 1 million na so utwa 15,000 ezika na o se ezika enye ezika kra Samia my member also my name so when your video we say be actually I don't know whether you saw I can't remember which parliamentarian was that as a funeral obi yase and na MP yakwakoje mic and no kaso fan 11 na say man yantu yeah yako kasuma so IMF se kwakoje ebosia sa free SHS no ye betwam yeah catch Ghana for this year a year oforiata about beka say so you will cut 1 million, yeah, it's a 15,000. And yes, what's it, Sasemi? And based on what a Bismarck report or the is there, Omukoshia, from his own mouth, they're going to bulldozer, they're kind of Omba Shagan of what Kitty. And yes, I'm sure about petroleum. What's it, and what's your initial reaction?
You know, that's it. I mean, the e-levy discussion is an ongoing process. I think the approach now that the government is doing, which they should have done in the beginning, the public education about the e-levy and how it's going to work, all those things should have been, it's something that they should have done way from day one and sign over the assembly parliament, But I guess they didn't expect the objection that they're facing from ordinary citizens, who would have been such a massive thing like that. And unfortunate for them, now it's got to the point where it's kind of very difficult to sell it, to the ordinary Ghanaian because it's an issue where it's being opposed from all. It's not people within the NDC or people that support the NDC is mainly across board, and everyone seems to think that the approach of the E-levy, is something that they have to revisit and see how best how make create revenue stream for the government. But Nana, the kind of reactor, it doesn't. It's not only him that I've realized that a majority of the communicators for on this specific topic, seem to be a bit of shows a lot of aggression. When you corner them and try to ask them questions about the implication of what the taxation is on the ordinary citizen, because the response that he gave to that specific interview, I find it to be a little bit rude, Kakra, in the
It's not a
sense.
little bit. It's actually rude.
Well, yeah, I'll give him
And disrespectful.
because sometimes it's the way they respond to these questions, that make you think that they are really out of touch with the ordinary Ghanaian. Because when you make claims about someone earning 15,000 or 1 million, and then you 1,500 free more, what is the big deal about that? I mean, things when you make statements like that now, it doesn't help to for people to get a clear understanding of what you're trying to do. Because what the levy is doing, even from this specific example he's saying is that when you pay someone 15,000 as a net take home, what it means that you've already taxed the person so much already. You've taxed the person, the pension, or pension is not taxed in a way, savings. You've taxed the person, national the income tax.
Just a bit of clarification. The example not in mind was when you earn 1 million, that's when you be taxed 15,000.
And not mention
But
about
if you're 100,000 as a student, it's 1,500.
Yeah, so the same argument stands. The 1,500 that you say is me use as can essential that in here Nana, there haven't been anywhere that I've seen that they tax savings, because when someone is earning an income now and that money is with them and it's in the banking system, you rather get interest on it as savings rather than, even if you run in the current account. I mean, some of the current account would not have that sort of attract that much. But when you have your savings account, it's normally you earn some sort of interest on the saving. Yes, there's an extreme situations where your savings withdrawal, it can attract some charges on that. I get all the logic on that. But even that arrangement has to be make the arrangement.
That is usually one system, and when you withdraw your money before.
There's some savings account that attract if you're going to withdraw because you didn't give a notice, and if you want to withdraw, it comes with those sort of But even those ones, it is an agreed risk. If you don't like it, you move your bank to somewhere else. But with this specific one, when you're charging everyone, there's no other way around it. You don't give anyone the option to say, okay, I don't want to do a transfer through Momo because I want to transfer through a different means where I can escape what you're trying to tax me. So in a way, you put everyone in that square box where it makes it difficult for people to escape. And the argument that has been made that if I send my mom money, remember my minimum 1,000 Ghana, and my mom is responsible for other kids that she's probably looking after, and we're sending the same mom now. You tax me, you're gonna tax my mom again when they send, and the same small savings that she's having, which she's going to obviously use for a upkeep, you're going to tax that money again. Now, so any panel this kind of swim and sweaty mobbing, so you're going to tax that money again. So you could see, say, a small value that you have in terms of money, income, is being depreciated so badly. And apart from the fact we say the inflationary, effect on the money itself, is another problem for an ordinary person to deal with. So it is a huge area that they will have to sit down. I was having a conversation earlier today, actually, on this thing with a friend of mine, and I was thinking, now you see, we know the government needs money. Government can only fund projects if there is some revenue stream somewhere. So we know government will have to strategize, find a way of taxing people. But if we say we all agree that is the case, that is government honestly saying that they can't find another clever way with the same momo because people do transactions on Momo in business ventures. So if you are taxing through business now, it kind of makes sense, right? Because Obi running business with Momo now, they are getting some kind of a service in a way, and of course they're gonna make profit or whatever is coming. So why don't you move the scale, to business transactions? Because you can trace business transaction, can't you?
Yeah.
If we got to idea or Melcom, and Melcom have a system where they accept Momo transfer as a means of payment. Okay, I get it. It still comes back to the same point that you because you put tax in the VAT already and you're gonna tax. But at least that is in a way, more acceptable kakra, than an ordinary transfer of money where I'm just using money for consumption. You taxing me for consumption. And that is very, very wrong, because that sort of taxation, that you don't encourage spending, because the economy needs to you need to encourage people to spend, and that is how the economy do well. But the moment you stop doing, you bring all these, people will not, they wouldn't want to. They don't want to trust the banking system. They're going to withdraw. As a joke, Nana. And Obi catch them and say, "Oh, we were laughing about the E11 with the same situation we all laugh." And I was say, "Yes, E11 only by the end. All we will do is just go to the cash machine. Yeah, yeah, EBO." So people will now avoiding the banking system that we want to streamline it to make easy to trace where money is going and how money is running through the system. Now people are going to escape that, and then they're going to start using physical cash and carry. And this is a digitization that we wanted to avoid.
That is,
Yes.
That was the next question I was going to ask Obaya, actually. Like now, looking at what is happening now, a lot of people who say here for now, or Municicano, which we know that a lot of Ghanaians are struggling with money. They would rather do cash in hand. And I say, okay, any and we all know crimes. What Ghana in terms of a rename, thief, and kind of pickpocketing, robbery, and this kind of money. Do you think, sir, with this policy, there is a slight implication, say, it's going to raise crime on that? Because I'm quite worried, say, a lot of people who avoid being taxed, and because the Chromano, me sure say as a tax in the Kwanzaa into ya and Kaye into ya. And so if there is that chance, and no, he said, run our cash in hand, and so and just can cross you, because if you are doing cashless transaction, it presents the money. And now Ghana, apart from your market women, now crime. Do you think that crime, there's a possibility that crime? What are your other worries?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for the question. But I think that, like, as you and I know, yes, it could potentially increase that. Because what would be the point of me as Mr. Amakan and everyone said, like, oh, start to be a come out on Nigeria. I can't idea if we must send £100, that's £100, it will shoot you about 900. In fact, my fellow got a fence 150 or 200 cities every month you are keeping. Not a crowd, now living out of the show, and I'm for. So all this stuff, why would you even want to do it that way? This is said we are going back to a situation whereby you're gonna encourage people to use cash. I think if we talked about it, you're gonna encourage people to use more tax. Even another time near about us for that, there was section almost simple, those things. But yeah, I'm trying to things have changed, there was petty crimes. Say our robbery is of it's a big thing at the moment. We all talking about it. Saying no one cares to kill you for what you have, and this is kind of about kind of two other things, and people's life is at risk. I feel when I read this sort of conversation from reality, like this thing that he said, I can really annoyed by it because it shows the kind of person he is, like a disrespectful person, and he really, I don't know, say, like if he thinks about his people, because and I said, so if you think about it, if you know what we do in Ghana, and we all, I don't know specifically how many people have worked at home, but I can tell you at the moment, the economy of Ghana is so great. All people are finishing university, all the people for those who don't have any. to start using the figures that it is unrealistic for a start. So why they just it's an insult to the population. Because maybe it doesn't be honest. I'll be annoyed because first of all you're talking about 1 billion. I mean you talk about university or any 100,000. How many of them earn 100,000? You want to earn 100,000?
See a year.
A year.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. You know, I mean,
The average Ghanaian is around 5,000, 6,000
yeah,
per month, I'll probably say.
so if you talk about that stuff, you have how many of them are going to end? And it's just about as a salary.
Actually, that's actually wrong. The average Ghanaian will not be 5,000 per
No,
month.
because I don't say 1,000, 2,000, and
Yeah.
go home, and then I go say yes, and you know, but the way he even puts himself across the ground is now, so who's just gonna say, what's wrong with that? But we all know, see, apart from say there's no jobs in the economy in Ghana, there's other people that they don't have any needs. Like,
Jack, Uche, what's up, Ray?
no, no matter what's the you know, and I really don't get. I don't. It was just so much correct me. You know the whole system that they know the something from the toll. Was there a problem with it? Was people campaigning that? Because I don't remember seeing anything in the news that people were saying that we don't want to pay that one.
I think that was no problem. I think
The plan they had is because they didn't know they were going to face this objection with the E11. They wanted to remove that toll system, and then the revenue that will be lost will be able to get again a true. So that it was a plan there. We lessen your burden, but we're gonna take it for with another hand, sort of thing. So into when the E11 is introduced, people will not feel it. People will not complain. So, yeah. So it was totally, misread. The whole thing was just misread.
You know, in that sense, they were put to the public, say like, what do you think about this? Give me a percentage. That's what you want to do. You know how actually put that to the public. So what do you think about me changing? You see, and I will point to this, if there's no problem, I don't think it's a problem. There was no problem. Even whether there was a problem, people didn't like it.
probably the problem was not many people were paying revenue. And I mean, my opinion,
But the thing is,
we paying tax, yeah.
But what we point to this, obviously, I'm not as clever as you guys. But what we say is, the economy is struggling at the moment. Would you not have kept maybe small, but not expensive? Would you not have kept this kind of toll?
I agree that the toll there was needless. There was no need for them to touch that revenue stream. Yes, it's not a lot. I think they said they were earning about 300 and something million per year, but it is money. And that tool, they can actually earn more than that if they run it properly. So there was no need for that to be touched because as we speak, it's a revenue stream that we've lost. But the e-learning hasn't gone through. So government is still basically losing more money, as a result. So it's just one of those unfortunate.
Getting more, borrowing more. You want to create a system whereby you have even enough money, so you would have kept that kind of money on you. Then find a way to tax other people on it. And I just don't get without any sort of stopping one at the right time, because if people go away, then they are just the interest the way they become more towards electricity. We mentioned about 3 months.
Yeah.
Give people way in advance. Okay, I'm thinking is that I'm say yeah, in 3 months time, let's say it's not going to be there anymore. But you just don't remove it when you don't have any income. It's just something. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not knowledgeable. I'm just saying.
You are
I'm
knowledgeable.
saying, like, it's common sense. Like, 3 months, you give yourself 3 months to see what
Even 3 months, I don't think will be enough because the way we can communicate information in UK is not the same. So even if UK
I
is
mean, to be fair to government, when the budget was read, they captured the idea of they want to widen the tax net. So it was there in a way. So we will bring policies. The
I was
problem.
being specific.
I can't remember
Wasn't
if it was that specific someone friendly, but the point is there is said the whole education about it, wasn't done. So they literally brought the whole concept of it into parliament without what they are now going to the town centers and educating people about it. So maybe that is what they should have done from the beginning. When they had the ideas that they want to bring something like that now, the campaign should have started. Use the government agencies that then get people to and maybe people will be much more receptive. Or I don't know, but yeah.
I really, really, really am of the view said like there was no need
Jack,
to take
Uche
something
was
where
up
people
ready.
were not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I taxi, you charge 26 and
Mm.
wherever we are accepting the part, whether they like it or not, that's what they do. You keep that going anyway, then you add more to it because you need to create a commerce in there, it's not the tax is one place, but you don't focus on one.
And
You have so many
in Kawan, that fourth crossing,
Yeah.
that fourth crossing, you cross £2.50. In and out is £5. If you open account, I think it's £2 if you open account. Well, anyway, in a small way, they are digitizing, so it's much easier for them to collect the revenue, which is something that we should have done. That crossing has been there for so many years. The idea when the crossing came, is to obviously cushion the
Maintain.
cost,
Yep.
the cost that it costs them to do. Now I'm sure they've already
And
recouped
the
that
money,
money and everything. But they see the system,
To maintain it, maintenance.
of course, and the maintenance. But I don't know how much revenue they are getting from that, but I can tell you how much. Because as we speak right now, I have opened up an account for that phone, even though I don't use it often. But sometimes, because it's very digital, I do forget when I cross. So I open up an account where I put money in the account, and I've set up a system to link into my bank account. Into any time that I cross, I don't have to remember
Because you are worried.
because I will forget. Of course, I'm worried I will get charged and I will get fined, on that. As we speak, I have about 21 pounds sitting in the account just to
Just
be
in
able
case.
to that. But so you see, they still kept that. All they did was improve because before then it was the crossing where the barriers goes up and down. They digitize it now. You don't need to be even you go to your car registration in. We are running the digitized economy now, according to Baomi, and that is what they're trying to do. So, what serves the purpose of it is now link the crossings that you're going to have with the tolls with the digitization, because every driver now that is supposed to be driving have a driver's license. The car registration is registered to a specific owner, so it's not difficult thing now to link all this with the National Identification Authority that we have. Exactly. All you need is perhaps put a system in place like a central system that will run the system for you to make sure that people are actually genuinely paying the money.
It's not fair. It's not like fair on the Ghanaian. Your decision and you have gone and just decided one person or two people have sat down. This is what we want to do, and you have gone and done them, and then you want people to accept it. And how am I going to accept? What I mean? It's not fair. It's not the right way to do things. Anyway, I should say like if we did that comment about that man, what he said, our friends, and what he says, and actually,
and this is even not even. There are a lot of them that even communicate on this, and they are even more annoying than Ofuriata or Ofuriata.
We are on Ofuriata
because the communication that comes out is like the bravado at which they actually say, you could see clearly these are people that are out of touch. They haven't got a clue. They don't feel because of course they are all. I mean, when you hear Estela Usu, they say she's not Usu anymore. Estela what's Anka Foles. So I forgot her name. I'm so sorry about that. But Estela, the member of the communications minister. When you hear what she, how she talks on about. If you transfer, if I'm not wrong, quite there, 500 Ghana, anyone that transfer 500 Ghana means the Oscar. They speak like they talk like that with their, you can't. How are you going to convince an ordinary Ghanaian?
Hold on, mommy. I'm saying, yeah, of fresh will be a hello, caller. Hello, caller. All line. share your Facebook on the link. And we talking about 11 no. It's na Yo, it's here for him saying my big brother and calling all the way from Germany, Abraham. And now person or take the contribution. But I think right from the beginning, before the best partner, and then he really want to come on board. Now on mention like him. Before no media yeah, it's here for say we can't come
Who does it for send the link? No, no, your link. Send the link. No, no, Johnny.
Menu a video. Comment me. I'll be right back.
Are you looking for business solutions that will serve your needs? Look no further because Casting Advisory is all you need. Casting Advisory is a unique advisory firm that provides specialized solutions in tax and business planning, audit and assurance services, company secretarial services, corporate advisory, corporate training, tax policy advisory, charity registration and accounting, gift aid for churches and charitable organizations. Our understanding and industry experience provides a cutting-edge software solution tailor-made for your firm. Locate Casting Advisory in the UK, Suite 4, the Generator Business Center, 95 Miles Road, Beecham, Surrey, CR4 3FH, or call us in the UK on 020-840-81520 or 078-867-15702. Or email us at info@castinggroup.com. And in Ghana, locate Custom Advisory Suite 5, the first floor of the Zerka Plaza, Tetehu Junction, Southeast Ranger off the Kaswa Highway. Or call 0249-700-075. Custom Advisory, the delivery of excellence redefined. Custom Advisory.
Trinity Driving School, your number one driving school in the UK.
Did you know that there are equipped with professional driving instructors who will teach you to pass your test with ease?
So, if you want to pass your test, please look no further.
Contact Trinity Driving School on 07507 116997.
Trinity, safe and responsible driving.
This year, yes, 11. It is a Wakana, it's a 1,050,000. Yeah, before I this has we have a so we are students, so we are students who seek a so or see who problem cry and the same. Who problem is a man, you can't find young to pursue the petroleum. Is that what you want? That's the question. I ask and also give us a rhetoric question. Yeah, and all chance on one cassa and a way now before, no, let's move on to the next story. Akufuado, Ghana has submitted commitment towards African Disability Protocol. Akufuado, and I did in Semi. Now, before say a better point detail, remember, it's for yes, Susie, no, you was a whole train. Or in Facebook, and yeah, Bismarck so I comment and away in Facebook Live, you know, when you now must say more share, it's Muguswa and your line at the man, the phone lines are open. Over to me, a friend, I watch your watching. I contribute to any of the topics I hear discussing. Numbers here 0208 144 8773 0208 144 8773. Fred, not Jens, go Jens, won't come. And now share watching and what documentary so it's making sure say when you were video no and cop baby just to let you know yeah but cop to what you know so Ghana has submitted commitment towards African Disability Protocol a year ekufuado and now audit in semi ababa abetujam or say Ghana has already submitted her commitment ahead of the total ratification of the African Disability Protocol by African Union member states. He said African countries had to join forces to tackle disability exclusion head on and deeply with sense of urgency. The president disclosed this was addressing participants at the 2022 Global Disability Summit that that he co-hosted with the Norwegian Prime Minister, Mr. Jonas Gahr Store and the International Disability Alliance. And the protocol was ratified by the 15 EU member states, will direct member states to operationalize it with legal framework by enhancing law and policies to promote disability in their respective countries. And President Akufo-Addo said that 82% of persons with disability were estimated to be living on less than $1 a day. We need to break the cycle of poverty and bridge the inequality gap to contribute to the greater economic growth, he said. And this went on and on and on. Now, my main first story and start, I don't know which of my panels would like to touch on this story. It's interesting, Ghana, disabled people, Ghana. And I'm glad our president is co-hosting this summit with the Norwegian president. And my young Ghana, when we talk about disability, and Chebia and Sami, you can correct me on that. I think somewhere in the COVID, somewhere last year, and this organization of My Ghana Bako went and donated some food and stuff during the COVID, hand sanitizers and stuff like that. And in conjunction with Nana Hayford in Kumasi to some disabled people, and I think it's in Kwadaso or something like that. But let's look at disability. It's interesting to say a president is taking this thing very, very serious, and I'm applauding for that. But you see, charity begins at home. As a country, if we are spearheading disability, say, you promote look on our streets. There are a lot of disabled people around. Say, if there's somebody or any form of disability, there hasn't been a lot of education right from our schools into the begins a young outcast. Nansenya na one said kofonka makubi ankwankwabi because of probably they enlightened themselves or their affiliation with the international world. Now people are beginning to embrace and even accept these people. Do you think, sir, as a country, we have done enough? I know we can never be 100%, but even at the foundation stage, and we've done enough. Left alone, we spearheading the disability and for African Union Summit. My main fan started also Obaya.
Thank you, Nana. Yes, I think some years back, I think I've said this on the program, but I watched this documentary. BBC did the documentary. I don't know which channel did it, but one of the UK channels did a documentary in Ghana or in Africa. Ghana came one of the worst countries to live if you are disabled. And this, I don't know if anyone has actually listened to that. Ghana came out to be one of the worst countries, and then I think I was shocked actually because I felt it was done by BBC, or I think it was BBC that did it. And I think actually I was shocked because I thought Ghana will probably do be better, to be honest with you, but to come out as one of the worst countries to live if you were disabled was a blow actually to my people and also to us anyway. But in some way I'm glad since president is hosting this program, because I think that we need a lot of education. We go when we are in Ghana and when we see a lot of disabled people on the street that really, to be honest with you, I don't think I don't think they shouldn't be on the streets, because the Chrome has said no. We all know, and as in the Western world, when you are disabled, the government makes sure that you are armed quite well to be able to sort of flourish and be able to, do. There's nothing. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's nothing you can't do if you want to. The fact that you are disabled doesn't mean that you can't, you can't be a pilot. That doesn't mean that you can't drive. It doesn't mean you can't have children. It doesn't mean that you can't do a job that you like, because we see them with us. I mean, we see them as part of us everywhere that you go. But it's unfortunate that's a winning.
Mommy, this is a question. And I'm glad you used the word we see people with disability as part of us. Do you think, sir, it's because of the education, the enlightenment? Because even in schools, if you go to primary schools, and you're my you see disabled people, they talk about it, and in schools, right at like nurseries, primary school, they talk about disability. So it becomes like if you are disabled, it doesn't mean you are lesser human being than any other person.
I think so. Why no? And it's like when you are disabled in this country, obviously the government look into what they can actually do to what kind of disability you have got, and then they will look into how they can actually arm you so you can actually be able to do whatever you need to do, as you should be, as to function as a human being perfectly with no anything. What do I say? So in that way, anyway, I think it's like it's a good thing that the government is currently looking into that. And looking into sort of making, I mean, this kind of conference here I'll go to, and I'm hoping that something good will come out of it, because I don't see how we as I said earlier, and we are taught that we are all the same. You know what I mean? There's no inequality in any way or form, whether you're female or male, or I mean, or you're disabled or not anyway. If anything, but they are very protected. If you are disabled, you are very protected. And I said, like you said, compare Juma, won't me discriminate against me, and I say me your bar, and I said because me are disabled, the first I can do, you have to look for my ability. Said it shouldn't be because I'm disabled. So all these things in any way, we in the Western world, we don't. It's not something that it stops anyone from being wherever they want to be. But as I was saying earlier, and then when we are in Ghana now, you see, and I can only speak for Ghana because I know in other part of in African countries or any developing country, there's a lot of disabled people on the streets. But I can speak for Ghana because that's what I've been to see the impact on the society. You see a lot of people on the streets, and you just thinking, so like this person, they can do more than what they're doing, but no one is even giving them the chance anyway. So I think that for me, I think that the government through this a year or conference here, and I said this whole year more summit. I'm hoping that something good will come out of it. So they will be doing a bit more campaign on TV. Something that it tells so be a disabled doesn't mean they can actually do, because it starts from education on the radio. Some people don't even have TVs anyway. So on the radio, just trying to, because to be a disabled, that they just think say, but we're disabled, so they can't be part of the family. I think that there should be more kind of education. Really, there should be a lot of education in Ghana. We are so lacking in terms of how we educate our people, in terms of accepting everyone for who they are. And I'm hoping that this summit, something good will come out of it. And I'm hoping that the government can use this to educate the people, like the Ghanaians, on how we can actually incorporate everyone, into the society, because there's a lot that somebody is disabled they can do. And so we should be able to kind of harness obia abilities and on demand, whether you can walk or you can talk or you can speak or whatever. Everyone have something good that they are good, like they should be able to help to bring it out. And I'm all for it. So like my government has actually taken the initiative to start this, or he's part of this summit, and I'm hoping something good will come out of it for our Ghanaian, or even anything through that, it can actually, what he learned, it can actually spread to other parts of developing countries.
Obaya, you better was say, when Ghanaians in general, and this is me speculating, and it's for Obi to me and correct me if I'm wrong. When we talk about disability, and we talk about physical disability, say we will be crippled or will be lame, but sometimes there are some form of hidden disability we don't take care of. For instance, children with learning difficulties. Because in classroom, and I remember when I was doing my teaching qualification in Ghana, we talk about differentiation. But if you go to a typical mainstream school in Ghana, you don't see that differentiation. No. 50 or whatever, 30, 40. No, they're all doing the same exam, they're all teaching the same thing and all that. Knowing and apart from people's ability, there are also people with learning difficulties also will be classified as kind of form of disabled, but we don't cater for them. So if our education system, knows about these kind of problems, but we're not even bringing that out. I happen to be in a training college where we have school. It's a mainstream school where we have people with blind students with blind who come on to be a teacher for day, which is good. So that tells me that the Ghana education system knows about disability and knows about how we can improve. And the kindness, as the right word that you said. Do you think, Sesame, this kind of summits, President Akufo-Addo is kind of hosting with the Norwegian president, it's just a tick box. And as it's something that you're looking out for, say, it will bring change. Because every year there's a disability week or disability day in Ghana. We celebrate them. But after that day, philanthropists in Kofuako donate, which other organization which we are in, we've all donated before. Yeah, it's studio donated be last year we did some through Ghana Bako and some other organization. And do you think that is anything going to come out of this? Or is just going to be one of those things to take boxes, say, your president are called? Because I'm sick and tired of every year we talk about it and nothing is happening.
Well, I mean, I don't know this the answer whether it's going to be anything different from the usual. I mean, the when I read the whole thing, it this does appear to me that what the president is trying to do or aiming to do or get out of the conference is when they mention. I'll read some portions of what the story actually did suggest, because it is very clear that there's something which is being done which is not enough, and therefore there has to be some kind of a change. So I'll read this small portion. Say the protocol, when ratified by 15 AU member states, will direct member states to operationalize it with a legal framework by enacting laws and policies to promote disability rights in their respective countries. President Akufo-Addo said 82% of persons with disability were estimated to be living on less than $1 a day.
But is that not the case for people who are without disability? A lot of people without disability are living less than $1 a day.
That is so too possibly, but they looking specifically into the issues of disability and and I think that is where the target mainly is, in terms of, because the whole thing is boiled down on funding. Because if you want to make any meaningful impact, because the policies in terms of the laws, and because they do have the Disability Act in Ghana, which of course expectedly even within employment, all those things has to be implemented. When you have someone with a disability, doesn't mean that you have to discriminate against the person, because the discrimination aspect, and then they're bringing about people going to the street.
But the question I will ask is, like Obaya said, and you just added on to that, Ekromha Eyejuma, because who be ever interview now of Phyllis say one fan because of the disability and the person, the law no or take you up, the law will take its course.
Yeah.
But Ghana no, where is that law to support?
Yes, the law is there. You can't discriminate. I don't know whether it's a protected class in Ghana. Yeah, but that is where the issue, because it's a cultural problem that we have it in Ghana, in the way we look at disability and the way we actually treat people with disability. So it will take more than just the president attending a conference and coming out with some kind of a protocol that will bring about the changes in terms of the law, or maybe improving on the law. But it is in the right direction to improve on the law. But the biggest problem in regards to disability in Ghana, and you did mention about the various phases that it comes in. Some are very physical in nature, some are not very physical, and therefore the characteristics of what determines who the disabled person is has to be much more stronger in the minds of people, and that comes in through education, because there are some of them that and you set back into the classroom, where the aspect of differentiation comes in as to the ability of a person based on whether they have the capability or the capacity to reach into a specific level that you probably will consider as the best form of attainment. So, for example, if someone cannot get an A, doesn't mean the person is not clever, because you have to be able to distinguish between someone on the high level and someone within the middle and someone obviously who will probably reach their maximum capacity, and therefore that person also has to be incorporated into the system. So it is a lot that needs to go into that, even because the law, you can design the law to bring about these sort of changes, but you also have to incorporate the idea about this into the minds of people. So it has to start with the education system for even teachers to recognize and therefore the curriculum has to be widened in such a way that the mainstream education brings in people with disability, incorporate them into the mainstream education, and recognize that they have those differences and difficulties sometimes in terms of them assessing it. So there is a whole lot that will have to go with it. But the biggest challenge that I think to make this successful is about funding, because you need to raise and elevate people from the so-called less than $1, a day sort of income threshold, and move them up a bit. And that means government needs to start cushioning the wages of people that are on disability, that are disabled, like a disability allowance that will make them move them into the living standard. So there's a whole lot that has to change. So it's not only about the law. Yes, you have to change the law, but you have to bring the meaningful change into the real lives of people, what that will impact on them. Because the social welfare department, what is social welfare department? They should be one of the richest departments in all the ministries, because some of the interventions that they deal with are interventions which are social in nature and not very necessarily. No, in Ghana. But unfortunately, they are the poorest in terms of all the ministries. Ministry, if you look at the oil, the mines and energy ministry, they have more money. If you look at the education ministry, they have more money. Social welfare will probably, if you look at the budget that probably we push into there, it's not a lot. So there are a lot of things that government will have to do. If you want to bridge the gap, you have to make real meaningful changes, not only with the law, but the implementation of some of the things that will make someone living with a disability to uplift the person a little bit more, up to the standard where they can actually go and they don't need to rely on people for food.
I think that, and could I add something to this?
Yeah.
Anyway, said we and it's something that just sort of like, as you're talking about this anyway, kind of it's beginning to be something that I've had a problem with for a while. It's the Ghanaian education system, where me and you grew up in anyway. When you tell your mom and dad, oh, I want to be, ask you, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. That's how we've been brought up. And to be honest with you, I'm adding to what Sammy has said anyway. I think it's like we have to start learning to actually kind of understand that there's so many ways that we all have. We have so many different talents we can all bring out, what I say, in this world. And it shouldn't be just focused on two things, because what is those two things anyway when the rest is not available or it's not good enough? I think that we should learn, the government or we, the society, and I think I'm not talking to the government, I'm talking to our average Ghanaian person, that we all should learn to be accommodating. So be a different in their own way. Because so people to make good carpentry, but they're not good at like education, like like
education.
and we have to be able to harness the ability to do the best, to be the best they can. And I think that this is what we're lacking, and where I happen to actually have my son in Ghana, and where our course school across Ghana. And I think sometimes what I realized with the education system was they put all the children in one basket, so they don't. If you don't conform to what it makes sense to them to be, this is how I can't have to do A, B, C, D. You are and it comes with canes. It comes with, they don't understand it, and it's our bone. That is a word that I really, really hate. Obia bone, whatever it is. I think it's a obia a different way of of being the best. And you and I, or three of us on this panel, we've watched a documentary. This lady who comes on living with autism and all sorts of whatever it is. And even though there's so many challenges, there's so much, it's difficult. Like I've seen on that program, this woman that has got 3 children, they've all got the man in 3 years autistic. And the bear man also is like nowhere to be found. So you can imagine. Yes, and I won't so it stems from the guy has left this woman with 3 boys because I'm spectrum, their own spectrum, a difficult one as well. So you can imagine, so this person, where does she go to? You don't even know what's going to happen to the children. It's like the abuse, and and I do see a lot of those things, and I've come across somebody as well. There's no one, and your bar is caused some difficulty. Who's going to look after our crowd anyway? So I do my best at times anyway, and every Christmas I supplied the. There's no mother, there's no father, so I supply some some stuff for them to eat, and it bothers me to the core. So like we don't do our best to help. I mean, we all have some kind of responsibility. I think that's why I like about Ghana back doing something completely different instead of going around. I'm happy to be part of Ghana back when we decided to focus on disability because it's equally important as well.
The biggest challenge, with this, and is it has to be government agencies that have to make sure. Because there is no need for any child living with disability to go on the street to go and beg for food. That should be a shame on any society. And I think those are the areas that we fail in as a country. Because individually, yes, we might have to, but you need someone to direct you. Because the idea in this country about someone seeing a child with disability standing on the street and begging for food is something that will it will be so it's a societal problem, and therefore the biggest challenge will be, and that's why I'm always going back to the government agency, because you can get rid of this mentality in people's head if you make conscious effort, say you want to get rid of this specific space. Because a lot of parents that have children with disability, they would therefore have to full-timely be carers for that child, and that stops them from employment, and then they become even poorer in trying to, because they can't access the economic aspect of things. And you need to support those sort of parents, but those support systems are non-existent. So it becomes very cyclical in nature.
When I was speaking, I think I was also trying to. I know that's equally important, and I think I'm trying to, target the average Ghanaian person. So like we all have something to play anyway. So like you maybe we should all open our mind.
But would that not come with education? Because I think Sami started on something what is very important. That's our culture.
Yeah.
Ghana has come a long way. I would say probably 20, 30 years ago. If you people now are disabled, I remember those days they used to say "Sakrawe where you suba or kukuba." They would do some barbaric things. I wouldn't even want to say on this show. Beyond my or they do some very, very horrible things to these kids, because no family at that time, is our belief, say, even so be by the waripo or they can say, epilepsy, common epilepsy is kind of stigmatized. So when you have epilepsy, that means if you be and as your mental health, those kind of things. Now we gradually kind of moving, but the growth is at a very, very slow pace. And that is where we need government intervention.
It's not
for
about
this civic education, to kind of educate people, say, if somebody is disabled, that person is human being. That person can develop to the full potential. They can contribute to the economy in their own way. And like Sami said, if government agencies need to come in, say be a mobile cluster group, support group, be big to help this way. Because all these, I remember when Ghana Baku went to Kwada, so Uko baby are disabled in Kofoyi Waya, keke. Well, and most of them say be wheelchair or more physical ones, no wheelchair and even bony mutina, and now share foot row. Nipa ni wom. Left, this is the ones we can see physical. So you can just imagine the ones you cannot see. Yeah, even I'm talking about the disability we cannot see. So you can just imagine what people are going through because you haven't been educated enough, you haven't been enlightened enough. Ain't you show boy, where dear? Fabra lights na eja ma Ghana fonte ase na omo nso ebi wo ense woni bi kura kakra bi enso aketwa bi enso ikroma store bi or say every little helps na ye mwa ye nuano because this is not it's a collective effort ye nyina or say to me na ye de boa ye nuano ma omo ye disabled. Our time check at the moment is 7 o'clock on the dot. Our set Jumedia no yet deco haya, but producer mommy 10 minutes pay. At the account, there's one story I would like to touch on. And son na ye did you media no aqua. Also Dampari takes office in August. I'll say the 3 top MPP officials who have been arrested under Dampari. Although Dampari takes office in August 2021, he is held for breathing new lives into the police system. Police arrest top MPP officials for various offenses. Diodi Kayakura Abronya DC arrested for false coup allegation. Yotosume no second data the MC arrested and charged. Yenina who video ni be the course or any last but not least or say in Shiaeso MP arrested for road traffic offense. CCI yamu said dampare by and Nioma air koso. In terms of sebi oye penyo ya kwara o emrano ebubowa ebua body here ni say aba abetodwa anase aposifu ahu ene emra no ene wudibedi but sabre no I know say wabai he's now finding his feet and right now no he's going to the heart of Ghanaians. Do you think say is it too early for us to judge him in terms of crime and now because policing it will be judged by the crime rates are Ghana day in day out it is a crime be I know say we cannot get rid as some will always put it we can't get rid of crime but damn pariba is a measure now in terms of crime now where would you put Dampare? Sami Mame started also.
Right. Okay. So no, I don't have the statistics to be quite honest. I mean, he hasn't been in the office for a year to make a meaningful comparison in terms of looking at the data because you always have to assess the data in reference to the fall in crime, and even within crime, different types of crime, robbery, common thefts, murder, all of that, and then interventions in all of that. I mean, and unfortunately, because on buy and chain, it's difficult to be able to make the assessment in terms of real data. But what I can say, I mean, the impacts in terms of public awareness and the and when I say public awareness, I'm making reference to the fear in a way that he's put into the populace of the need for policing and the respect for policing. It's a massive impact. I can't remember in my lifetime where I've seen any police officer that has made any meaningful impact as he has made. So on the face value, based merely on some of the arrests that we've seen and some of the impact that he's made in terms of putting people before the court systems, whether be it in both political parties and which is done and people within the celebrity people don't they call themselves celebrities really, and he's made those sort of impact. People are now taking the police service more seriously. So those sort of impacts, you will have to give him a very positive, review, and in reference to that. If he carries on the way he is, acting now, he probably will go in down in history as one of the best, IGPs that we've ever had as a country. I mean, the only person that made any serious impact, if I remember, he wasn't a police officer, but we growing up, I don't know if you know Salif Amankwa.
Yes,
I've heard
yes,
of it.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he was one of those guys that you will be scared when they tell you that if it's Salif Amankwa say don't pass, you won't me foul. Because I mean, he's more very militarily in nature, but he made a massive
But
impact
was
in
Jerry
bringing.
in a way not like that as well?
Yeah, but I'm
Jerry,
talking about in terms of
Policing.
the policing and all that. He wasn't a police officer, but he was given some kind of an authority to make sure people do the
the
right
right
thing.
thing.
And since him, we've
That's
never
so good.
actually had anyone that has made those sort of impact. So Dan Parry is doing the right way because he's using the law system, the court system, prosecuting people, sending people to court, and as to whether the court is going to release them or not, he has done his job, as a police officer to make sure arrests are being made. So
And
from that point, yes.
so, I mean, let me interject you a bit. Looking at what we've seen, because we've seen high profile and for i.e. celebrities and sitting presidents, the party for,
Yeah.
and that is something to be kind of proud of. Do
Yeah.
you think that this will give police, if we Ghana police for no some form of confidence and because gone are the days any obibia can bet me at an police stop it because winning me and the police officer will want their job and so they will allow the person to go.
Yes, certainly. It is certainly have those sort of impacts on an ordinary policeman that he knows that my boss has my back. Yeah, and I can act, as long as you're not breaking the law yourself as a police officer and you know what you're doing is right. So the power of arrest is in the hands of everyone. You can make an arrest, but we know the police officer has more powers in terms of making those arrests and then follow that up with the issues of prosecution. And to have say Obi Ewowichi and is backing you when you're doing the right thing, it is definitely going to be refreshing for everybody. So you could see some of the confidence that is coming in the most of the videos that we've seen where police officers are challenging people that supposedly be in authority, where in the past probably would not be challenged. So that has had a very positive impact on the, and not only the people now more get worried about breaking the law, because when you're doing, maybe someone is watching me on what I'm doing, and that has been positive. So I mean, I will not fault down. I know there has been some reference to him kind of overstepping his powers kakra because of the sort of sometimes the sort of arrest that he's making, because there was this arrest that they wanted to make to the member of parliament for is Medina Sosu, and which obviously didn't go well, in terms of because the guy still wasn't arrested at the end of it. I don't know how that case has basically got up to, but there has been some incidents of quite recently people that have been arrested in from the media. This Fix the Country convener guy that also got arrested because of his comments that he made about the coup, which people are thinking say it is not a statement that should be charged with those sort of offenses as for treason offenses. So there are some lapses here and there that you could see that people think say is maybe overstepping ways, because and sometimes when you move to the point where you start arresting journalists, it becomes very controversial because the issue of free speech, it comes here, because when Obi radio is no kind of beer, if it is not criminal in nature and it's very civil in
Some of them is
nature.
observation, isn't it?
Yes, because those civil issues, you won't have to get a person is against, to deal with it. So, for example, when the president's wife and the vice president have been supposedly been accused that they've accumulating some wealth illegally,
and they have to give the money back.
well, and that arrest, that was made was more of a civil issue than a criminal issue, because if someone make allegation like that against a person, it's the person that needs to take on the case. to the civil means, and the civil means by if you tarnish someone's image, you can go to the courts to enforce, get the law to enforce about the civil damage that the person has pushed you through, which we have laws for. So people are thinking, say maybe he needs to be very careful about overstepping the mark, because there are something that it's not everything that you have to get yourself involved in, because there are things that ordinary persons can't go to court. If Obi, for example, can say President Mama Ekonfo, I don't think you should arrest the person because Obi say President Mama Ekonfo. What did I say? I think President Mama should be
the one to
go and pursue it in the civil court, because it's a civil issue.
To prove
exactly, to prove that okay, you are defaming me, so I'm gonna put you to court, and then you get sued or fined.
So otherwise it becomes you.
Otherwise it becomes you. Obika BBBR, we have to arrest the person. It becomes a bit too much, and I think those areas, the police needs to be very careful.
Mami bra obaya so and see I every crowd was so we talked about police and how confident they are in executing their duties as police officers. Do you think, sir, from what you've seen, what is your recount on Dampare? And besides that, in two folds. CCR Ghana for Union and police for we know we can buy them with them in that conception that you can buy them with 1 city or 5 Ghana. Do you think the CCR no and the who been so as a Ghana for who said also we and now the confidence for the police, about another agent baby agent.
Thank you, Nana. I think we have a long way to go. I think we are not there yet. I mean, Rome wasn't built in one day, so we there's a lot that needs to happen, and basically we are doing. I think that what we have seen from Dampare is a good thing, and I think it's a step. I think it's a step that we all want to see the right direction. That's thank you, because even if you look in this country, and when we have situations whereby we think that even the prime minister have done something that he's not supposed to, we get the head of police to do the investigation just to, try to, it's a step towards the right direction. I think that it will take some time, and I think we're not there yet. I think when you get one person, and it can't be one person's job to fix the country, to be honest with you. I think so we need a good police people, policemen, policewomen to actually do the job right. You can still, even in this West Libya, you can have a good cop and a bad one anyway. So it's just a matter of we need more of the good ones, and in doing so, we also need a good, and I think I've drummed about this so many times. They can't do this job on their own unless we the people are able to help. It says don't do this, you don't do that, and also having the equipment to support them, equipment that will help them to be able to do the job well. So we, I remember when this airport was built, the Kotoka airport, when they did the fufuro, someone went to the airport anyway. I was in the queue. This guy was trying to sort of do the old tactics whereby, anymore, whatever. And the woman said, no, go back.
He wants to give bribe.
Yeah, go give bribe. So we people, like at times, we don't help the situation. When someone wants to do the job right and they want to bribe on the side. So we all have some accountability to play in the whole thing anyway. Responsibility as well. Yeah. So in terms of them doing it, yes, it takes one person that started. We need more of those ones in Ghana, but also in doing, as I said, we also have to do our bit, and the government also have to support them with the right equipment to be able to do their job right. So it's all good anyway, but we will see what happens anyway in the near future. If you continue in
more than Paris.
Yeah, more of those good ones to come along. And at times I get a bit worried thinking, is it doing it to save face, or is it really doing it?
No, you can see the guy has charisma. He's very clear to me. He's someone who is very youthful. And he has gone through the system and understand the problems that the country is facing with crime. And
useful
policing.
by Ghana standard, because the Chrome has or adult.
He's so youthful. He's so youthful. I feel he's genuine. He has genuine heart for the job that he's doing.
I think the fear at the moment, as from what you were also saying as well, and I said the fear is if you're not careful, and they can get rid of you very easily. So, you're sure that he's been protected, but he also have to be very, very careful.
The president can fire him. That's the unfortunate truth.
Yeah. So we will see how it goes anyway. I think that he's well aware of what could happen. Maybe he wants to do the good job, and let's see what he brings.
President Ronaldo don't channel fire him.
Yo, NTF for your sister and the Poyani Pitri. Kwaku do often all the way from Germany. Also, you are doing a good job. Sami Yabo Abaso Kwaku say you are I'll say Kwaku to say you are doing a good job. You have made a point, Sami. Also, you've made a very good
man.
And see, my messages from Facebook, Susie Knock and Bismarck and Kwaku, and some Deborah will know ye Ghana, Bismarck, an update from what is happening in Ghana. Ye call MPP or delegate office. Yes, this is here, and my bro, because it's here, no, yes, forms no cocra when you be ento. When you be crowned or what fail, I didn't see a family party. Think of when you bring what a map, Yefro and on my petrol, Hunsens, and yes, this is Yauqua baby 7 cities and 59 pesos. As you go for Cradom, so many to Munjom, then 6 cities, 79 pesos. It is only someone to Petra, Kotobia, you Maria. And now you talk if one so strike and almost almost president, now can you one as a penny be that Banwa Becca, I invested teachers association, I'm sure Mobuana, do move a quadruman, a quadrumachana, ain't Simonia who be esa school for Rubenwana, invest for Matam put one today is your mutation not just a matching. Every horn yet the program they start say with 11 hunts and semesis ya Ghana dear Mupo 11 no Yamana Miko Papa Nevan is a orphano. Ovoriata or sister would you 1 million Ghana 1 million Ghana 15,000 penny. What are you talking about? And some from Paragana for Moody, Najamutoka Caribbean Muzu, some Montimungia and Never Petroleum, some no pair. Now, Chinaya, yes, this is your petrol. I draw for no more to me as 30% to walk. Not just I would do 30%, what they are social. Was in the and I just say, what could share 30%, you know, because this year a year GPRTU for the mother of all over 28 transport unions, no, Omunka idea and Swiss year the Magia to GPRTU for no statistics was about 24 point something percent, and on my proposal 30%. Almost abandoned into Moody, so all these private union, no, almost 30%, and so you're Ghana, not a Ghana quite now. We are now the 30% of the to send a bear baby alcohol. And could you acquainting fake? What me I could drew a call. Ain't when in some people any other bell median and Nanahemaa after this program, making sure say, oh, you were fit here every baby because right after this program, here the inspirational hour, Bebro, a year pastor cook or the enuma a moon ed ne emutuo na eduko said numra. Preparing for Monday, and go depressed. So you need something very inspirational to boost your energy. Send your beya, a juada, a chimano, to me, a quadruma. Nasisia, what's in your sea, and answer Europe, dear, and from maybe a bopano. Making sure so be protected or buy at the automatic this is your man driving go baby. I mean traveling tries and use public transport. It's your china make of a bus aqua. So when you out to me the phone and answer to me the camera better me so make a picture with the bus my next week with better studio has no beer we say Miss Global Woman or Miss Mayhem of family also making sure so also by your family. That's one to me. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, and I will say adios. Bye bye.